After Title 42, an Afghan man on the terror watch list crossed over the border illegally with a bunch of migrants.
Oh, we're crossing
Caught
over
by
now.
the FBI.
We're doing a 2001 crossover event with 2023. This is exciting.
It is. It's what's interesting is, remember, that's always been the biggest concern, that radical Islamic terrorists were crossing the borders with illegal migrants. That's been one of the biggest concerns that we've had, even from my neocon days of the early 2000s, like you said.
Yeah.
And now it's
happening.
I remember. Like, there was all the rumors back then that Al Qaeda had a camp set up in Juarez and all this stuff. And now, because there's so many people coming across their border, and the rules are so relaxed, they are actually coming across the border.
Yes.
But yeah, and this comes as Title 42 is getting ready to expire. Now, Josie, I don't know, where are you at, like, with border security, and like with because the libertarian line is very different from one side to the other. There is the open borders crowd that believe that you should just be able to cross anytime you want, and then there's the people that you should think that you should be able to secure your own borders of the country. And I think I saw your tweet the other day, and I just remembered that. But I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, it's a lot of people, but this is like I said, I'm a constitutional, a Bill of Rights libertarian, and Article 4, Section 4. It's the federal government's job to protect the states from invasion.
Yeah.
And when Article 42 expired, like they sent the military down there to do what? Protect the states from invasion. So that's the rule, because borders are an extension of property rights. So we pay taxes on public land, and we own private land all along the border, and it's property rights, and that's libertarian. The idea that you can go freely, like, oh, you can't stop somebody's movement, right? That's the libertarian, the left libertarian perspective. You can't in the United States. You can't if you're protected within the states, but not when you're not protected by the Constitution, when you're not within these United States. If you're in Mexico, you're not protected by the U.S. Constitution. So no, you can't travel from Mexico into the U.S. and be protected by their Constitution. Also, why do we have locks on our doors? If I can freely go anywhere I want, because that's like it's tyranny to block me from going into your house, Sarah. It's tyranny.
Oh yeah.
So
like you said, it's private property.
You're not. Yeah. Oh yeah. Private property. So that's okay. So yeah, exactly. So public land is the private property of the United States citizens, essentially.
Yeah.
The public parks. That's our communal land.
Yeah.
And I mean, even like if you wanted to go into like a native reservation, like there's certain rules that you have to buy. Like so that's the way that works. That's the truth of the matter. You can't just freely cross into our country, especially given that we pay the taxes, and I don't think libertarians, their taxes are very libertarian, but right now you can't have both. So I think it was it Rothbard who said that? I can't remember. It was one of the libertarian scholars said, okay, you can have a welfare state or open borders, but you can't have both. And that's the truth too.
Well, one thing about that is I do know that the immigrants actually pay for the welfare of the immigrants that are coming and actually getting on welfare. So they do actually pay. It does actually pay for itself. But I'm with you on, and I've had the left libertarians hate me on this one too, because I think a border wall is fine. I mean, I'm a minarchist libertarian. I believe that the sole focus of the U.S. military should be to protect our borders, period. And so, like you said, I have no issues with border walls. I have no issues with protecting our border, but I'm more in favor of like an Ellis Island style immigration system where you get a background check at the border and you should be let in freely. And then you can focus your resources, all your military and your border patrol, on people like this like the cartels and this Afghan national that came in, because only bad people will be trying to cross illegally. So that's where I'm at with the border stuff too. That's technically could be considered open border, but it's not like this open border where you should just be able to go to your neighbor's house across the other side of the border.
Exactly. And I'm on the same page saying there should be a very easy path to immigration. Very easy path. And actually Elon Musk was like, yeah, me too. So we're both on the same page with that. So my idea is that, you know, if you don't have a felony, if you're not a criminal, if you're not trafficking children, and you have a job, and it's like, okay, what can you provide for the country? Like, okay, you know, I'm a benefits for the first 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, very easy, like no crimes, you have a job, you can't get benefits.
Yeah. Seems, I mean, it's reasonable to you know, to think that, because then, yeah, I mean, that would eliminate, like I said, I think that you could, as a military person, somebody who served in the military, I'm like, I look at it though, and I see like, you focus your resources where they matter. And so if you're not focused on all these hundreds and thousands of immigrants coming in, then you can actually focus on the bad people. And I mean, you know, ending, you know, the war on drugs would help too, but that's a whole nother conversation.
What's worrisome as well is 1/3 of the children who get to the border are not there with a custodial parent. They're there with an adult.
And they are let in freely.
Because they're there with an adult who's not there. Yeah. They're trafficked to the border, and they're there with an adult who knows what they're there for, whether they're there just as a coyote, or if they're there to harm the child or hand the child off to somebody who's going to harm them. We don't know. But 1/3 of the children who show up to the border aren't there with the person who's their parent. They're there with somebody who's pretending to be their parent. That's scary.
That is very scary. And I know we've seen a huge influx at the border since, you know, Title 42 was set to expire. But here is the good old vice president who was, to set this up too, Kamala Harris is supposed to be the border czar. She is supposed to handle everything that has to do with the border, even though
she's never been there.
Yeah. And so here's what she had to say about what's going on.
You know, I hear that everything in the last couple of days is going rather smoothly, given what the concerns were. And the bottom line, however, is that the issue of immigration falls squarely within the responsibility of the United States Congress. You know, I hear that everything in the last couple of days.
So one, I hear everything's going swimmingly, but yet an Afghan, you know, terrorist came across the border. That's going smoothly, I guess. And then shucking the responsibility off to the Congress.
Why do we have a border czar? Why do we have a border czar if it all belongs to Congress? You know?
Yeah.
Like what are you doing, Kamala?
What have you been doing the last 2 years? I mean, well, we know what she's been doing, but nothing.
Literally,
she's not been doing her job.
Oh no, they only bring her out every now and then when they think she'll say something smart, and she says something stupid. So it's just clips of her being dumb.
Well, it's clips. I mean, she is the real life Veep. I mean, have you seen like the clips of her talking in circles, and then you put it next to the actual like the show Veep, and it's like where she was talking like, and it was like, wait a second, why are you're not saying anything, but you're saying something.
Taking a long time to say nothing there, Kamala. Yeah.
And she does it all the time. And then remember, it was like, I mean, because they gave so many mixed statements early on too. Like it was, we're going to let you in, but don't come. We're going to let you in, but don't come.
Don't come. Don't come.
I love the mashup with Trump saying, I'm going to come.